In a small Northern California town, a deadly confrontation shattered the stillness of an early September evening. A man armed not with a gun, but with a bow and arrow. What followed sounds like something out of medieval history. Yet it happened in 2023. Tonight, we unravel the case of Glenn Stevenson, a convicted felon on probation, who stands accused of impaling another man with an arrow during a violent encounter in Redding, California. This is the story of murder by arrow. On September 1st, law enforcement in Redding responded to reports of disturbance at a residence. By the time officers arrived, they discovered 46-year-old Salvador Abago suffering from a devastating injury. He had been struck and impaled by an arrow. Despite medical efforts, Rabago could not be saved. His life ended in a way that few could have imagined in modern-day America. The alleged assailant? 63-year-old Glenn Stevenson, a man well known to local authorities. Stevenson had a long criminal history, stretching nearly 4 decades, filled with burglary, drug-related charges, and illegal weapons possession. He was prohibited from owning firearms because of his felonies. But the ban on guns didn't stop him from resorting to another deadly weapon, one far less common in modern crime, a bow and arrow. To understand how we got here, we need to look back at Stevenson's past. His criminal record paints a troubling portrait. Starting in the 1980s, Stevenson racked up charges ranging from burglary to narcotics possession. Through the 1990s and 2000s, more arrests followed. Illegal weapons, parole violations, and multiple stints in prison. Each time, he was released back into society, only to reoffend. In fact, at the time of the arrow killing, Stevenson was already on probation. Part of his probation conditions included a strict prohibition on firearms ownership. But nowhere in those terms did it specifically mention bows or crossbows, legal loopholes that some convicted felons exploit. Authorities now say Stevenson may have been using this technicality to his advantage. Neighbors reported that Stevenson often seemed unstable, sometimes aggressive. For many, his arrest didn't come as a shock. It was almost expected, just not in this bizarre and brutal way. According to investigators, the September 1st incident began with some kind of disturbance, possibly an argument or altercation, between Stevenson and Salvador Abago. The exact cause of the confrontation has not yet been released publicly. What we do know is that Stevenson armed himself with a bow. Witnesses described hearing shouting, followed by silence, and then the shocking discovery: Rabago struck with a single arrow, mortally wounded. Police quickly apprehended Stevenson at the scene. Unlike many violent crimes,